Hey, Case, you know when you go to a family reunion and you see your family and everything, and then you all go and get your blood drawn together?
Oh, well, that sounds kind of funny, but actually I do know the feeling because that's exactly what happens at the Hermansky-Pudlak Syndrome Network Conference, which we're going to be talking about today in this episode, so stick around. Hello, and welcome to Rare with Flair,
the podcast where two 20-somethings with the same rare disease are living their best lives. I'm your host, Cassandra.
And I'm your host, Casey.
You guys, we really had to update you on our fundraiser. If you didn't know, we have a fundraiser to support the Hermansky-Pudlak Syndrome Network, which is our rare disease that we both have. We started it on February 28th, which is Rare Disease Day. And so far, you guys have been amazing. You've gone above and beyond. We want to thank everyone who has bought a product, a shirt, or whatever. And then even some people have just donated money. And like, seriously, we've already raised like $1,300 for the Hermansky-Pudlak Syndrome Network. You guys are blowing our minds.
You're blowing our minds, seriously. Like, we cannot thank you enough. Every time a new shirt is bought / a new donation comes in, like, it just makes our hearts so happy. We still have about a week left of this campaign once this episode is released. So if you want to buy a t-shirt with our cover art on it, we think they're really cute. You can find that on all of our social media. It is posted everywhere. So I will take this time to remind you of our social media. You can find us on...
Great segue, girl.
I know. I haven't done a social media reminder in a while. So I figured we have a lot of fun on social media. It's a fun way to interact with each other. So we're on Facebook, we're on Twitter, and we are on Instagram. And on Instagram, we are rare.with.flair because rudely a Rare with Flair was already taken.
Can't believe it.
But we also have an email, hello@rarewithflair.com for any comments or questions. And we can't thank you enough for the support. We've really felt the love this week, and we really enjoy doing this show. And I was just telling Cass, we have such a good friendship, but we also have such a good working relationship. And I hope that comes across in these episodes, that we just have a lot of fun doing them. So thank you so much.
Oh my gosh. And this whole experience has made us grow even closer.
Even closer. We say that all the time. We're like those annoying friends that are like, I just love you.
We get real sappy with each other like once a week. It's awesome.
Yeah, no, literally. Once a week, I'm like, I'm just so glad we're doing this podcast.
Oh my gosh, it's been so great. And so about the emails, we do our best to respond to all of them. And if we don't, we're really, really sorry. You should bug us again. But
bug us again.
But we love, sometimes we feel like we're just sending out, all this work that we put into this podcast into just this blank void, but it's an awesome reminder when people do go out of their way to send us an email or send us a message on Instagram or something, and we remember we have real actual listeners. So thank you, real actual listener.
I am blown away that anyone would want to listen to us talk for an entire hour twice a week. Like, that blows my mind, because to me it just feels like Cass and I are having a conversation.
Did you just say twice a week? Every other week.
Did you know bi-weekly actually has two meanings? It can mean twice a week or every other week. So
it's something that keeps me up at night.
We are bi-weekly, meaning every other week. Sorry about that. But yes. No, it really just feels like I'm having a conversation with Cass, and I forget people are even listening, and we can't thank you enough for even just listening. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much. So
y'all are the
we appreciate it. Y'all are the realest.
Okay, so now to get into the meat, the real stuff that we came here to talk about. We wanted to talk about our Hermansky-Pudlak Syndrome conference. So in episode 7, we were talking about music. So if you haven't heard it, you should go back and listen to it, because we had fun with it. But
it's a fun one.
We talked about not only music we like, but our history with performance, and we will touch on that a little later. But we do some performance within the Hermansky-Pudlak Syndrome conference. So we mentioned then we may do a conference episode. So here we are doing this conference episode.
Yes.
So just a quick overview of what this is and why it matters. So we have Hermansky-Pudlak Syndrome. It's a rare disease. It is 1 in every 500,000 to 1 million people worldwide. So you're 1 in a million.
We're just 1 in a million. Have you heard that song? Okay.
Hannah Montana.
No, it's from Miss Congeniality, but there might be a 1 in a million song in Hannah Montana too, but anyway.
So we have this network that was founded in, the 90s?
Yeah, early 90s.
In the early 90s, before I was born, you guys. It's a really amazing network, and it's built for finding a cure for pulmonary fibrosis, which is something that a lot of people with Hermansky-Pudlak syndrome get. We also all have albinism and a bleeding disorder, and some of us have GI issues. But we have a conference every year in March-ish in Long Island, New York. It's a really great time. It's one weekend, and it's both a hybrid of really important research and also just like a social, fun support group, family reunion. Like, it's a lot of things.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you're listening to this episode and you have HPS or you know someone who has HPS, hopefully you can have fun listening and hearing about the conference, especially if you've never been before. But even if you don't have HPS at all, we hope this episode will still be enjoyable to you because conference matters so much to us. It means so much for us to all get together and have that social time, but it also means so much from a research standpoint. Mm-hmm. And it's a big part of our lives. I think my friends get annoyed with me always saying, oh, conference is coming up. You know, I don't even call it the HPS conference. I just say conference, and they know what I mean. So it's a huge part of our lives, and we wanted to share it with you and give you insight of what goes on. But also, we want to give a quick disclaimer that we do not represent the Hermansky-Pudlak Syndrome Network. These are our experiences. We did get permission from them to talk about the conference. We just wanted to make sure that it was okay that we were, talking about this, and they gave us permission. So thank you so much, HPS Network. Let's get into it. We're going to talk about, first, our experiences and more of the social aspect of the conference. Mm-hmm. So I got diagnosed with Hermansky-Pudlak Syndrome in October of 2010, and I went to my first conference in March of 2011. So it was really a jarring time in my life because I had just gotten diagnosed with this rare disease. I knew that I was legally blind since birth, but I didn't know about the other health issues and everything until this time when I was 18, actually. I was a senior in high school. And I went, and Cassandra was not there yet, though. Cassandra did not start coming to the conference until later. I'll let her get into that, but it's a little sad that you weren't there my first time. I was frolicking around with my other friends and didn't even know I missed her because I didn't even know she existed at the time. But
I didn't even know I missed you.
That was my first conference, and it was one of the best weekends of my entire life because I had never met anyone else like me. Well, actually, that's a lie. I had met one other person when I was 5 years old. I met a woman in her 30s who had albinism as well, and that was really great for me, but it just wasn't quite the same as meeting people around my age. And so that weekend was just, I was on cloud nine, one of the top 5 weekends of my entire life. Had a great time. So what about you? When was your first conference?
Yeah, so unlike Case, I have always known, and my family has always known that I have Hermansky-Pudlak syndrome. It actually disproportionately affects Puerto Rican people because of the way that genetics works. So I was diagnosed before I was even a year old. But I think we've talked about this in previous episodes. I had a pretty normal childhood. I just had albinism and a bleeding disorder. So it was just a matter of making sure that when I fell, because I was a wild child, that we had opposites. Enough to... We talked about this in episode, 5? Yeah.
5, yep. Opposite children.
Totally. But whenever I would bleed, they just had to make sure they could stop it. But otherwise, like, nothing super serious. But I have Crohn's disease, and I don't have a colon because of long story, but it didn't work out between us.
I love how nonchalantly you say that. You're like, and I don't have a colon. So anyway,
But, so I got diagnosed with Crohn's disease when I was 15 in 2012. And so after that, it kind of dawned on us, like, we really should connect a little bit more with this rare disease. And it's not like we were in denial, but it just, like, wasn't something that felt as pressing as when I started developing autoimmune disease. And so I actually went to my first conference in March of 14, and I just told this to Case recently, and we were like mind blown. But I couldn't go March of 13 because I had this choir teacher when I was in high school that we had a choir contest that weekend, the same weekend as conference. And I told her, like, I need to go to this medical conference. And she was like, well, if you go to that, you're going to get a seat.
Rude.
I know. I couldn't go, and I was so upset. But Case, you couldn't go in 13 either.
I know. I was just telling her I couldn't go in 13 either because my cousin was getting married. And it's so funny because if Cassandra had gone in 13 for her first conference, I wouldn't have even been there anyway. So it's like hilarious that we both missed 13.
It was ordained.
I guess unlucky number 13.
Oh, this is why.
But anyway, yeah, so you went in 14 for your first conference, and
that is
where
when we met.
That's when we met, everybody. Oh my god, like I can't believe it. And we talked briefly about how we met in our very first episode, and I have not listened to the first episode since we made it, and I am terrified to ever go back and listen to it ever again. Like, I don't know. I feel like we had not quite gotten the groove.
We've grown so much, but I feel like by you telling people not to go listen to the first episode, they're going to go.
They're going to want to go listen.
Oh, no.
But you know what? The good news about that is after that, come back to this one and see how much we've grown and be like, wow, you know, like, anyway.
Look how far they've come in less
Hey, at least we haven't gotten worse. What if we had gotten worse? That would be terrible.
That would be rough.
I would rather someone say, oh, wow, look how much better, you know, I don't know. But anyway, I think everyone gets better the more they do something. We're more comfortable now. We were nervous the first time, okay? But anyway, how we met is actually kind of a cute little story. So, when you first get to the conference on Friday, which is the first day, we have lovely people come pick us up at the airport. And Cassandra and I just happened to be picked up in the same car, both of our moms and us. It was just the four of us, and we hit it off pretty immediately, I think.
Yeah, and it's a pretty long drive from like LaGuardia Airport to Long Island, and so we had plenty of time, and I remember this, and we got down into like some of the nitty-gritty health stuff, like, really fast. Are you all surprised listening that we now that we tell our health on on a podcast online for anyone and everyone to hear? Are you surprised that we got into that quickly? It was so wild, but honestly, like, I so wanted Casey to like me. I think I was a junior in high school. And so I was like, oh my gosh, she was, I think, like a senior in college. And so I'm like, oh my gosh, she's so cool and stuff. I want her to like me.
Little does Cass know, like, I wanted her to like me too, because even though, like, we weren't in the same stage of life at that point like we are now, it's really, really rare to find someone close to your age with your rare disease. Like,
I think kind of hard.
The only other friends I had that were close to my age, one was 6 years older than me, and my other friends were like 14 years older than me, and that's fine. Like, I'm close friends with those people, but when you find someone in your stage of life, it's like really cool. That, you know, it's so rare because it's a rare disease, 1 in a million, like we said. Yeah. So anyway, here's the fun part, y'all. I'm going to start off, but we are going to walk you through a typical conference, and we're going to focus on the social side of it first and then more of the medical side of it. So I'm going to walk you through the Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and it's a trip, so buckle your seatbelts. It's really fun. Okay, so let me set the scene. Friday, we get into LaGuardia Airport, like Cassandra mentioned. Usually people start arriving in the afternoon, around like 2 o'clock is usually what happens. And we go to the hotel in Long Island. So this entire conference takes place in one hotel. We never leave, ever. You never see the outside.
Cold, Case. It's
cold. It is snowy in March, people. It is cold. But also, there's just no reason to leave. Everything that happens takes place in this hotel. So,
pretty much.
Like, we know this hotel like the back of our hand now. Like, it is part of the conference to us now. It is
part of our, like, being, I would say. I can close my eyes and walk through the hotel.
Yeah, no, it is. It's like my second home or something. Because when you walk into that lobby, you automatically know people. I'm not even kidding. When you walk in, you know the staff, you know the people coming to the conference. Like, when you're checking in, there's likely someone in line also checking into the conference.
Yeah, and they probably know you.
Yeah, no, exactly. So at this point in the day, we usually register, not register, but like sign in and get a little packet, a little welcome packet with all the activities and things for the weekend and everything. And we usually take a nap, at least I do. Do you take a nap?
I absolutely take a nap.
We need a nap. This weekend is very jam-packed and exhausting at times, and you need a nap to get ready for it. And then also we have some merch that the HPS Network has a nonprofit called Dare to Be Rare, and they always have really cute merchandise. So if you want to check it out, you can actually buy it, and it supports the Dare to Be Rare.
I'll put it in the show notes.
Oh yeah, put it in the show notes. How many times an episode do we say put it in the show notes? Like, probably
at least 3.
at least. But I'm proud of our show notes. Cass works really hard on them, so plug in the show notes. If you haven't checked them out, they're really great. Anyway, then we go down to the hospitality lounge. And the hospitality lounge is like a big deal because it's where you can find the food.
That's where the food is.
That's where the food is. So they provide lunch and dinner that day, and it's always the same.
Yeah, Chipotle for lunch.
Chipotle for lunch, and then for dinner, it's always this pasta, like this red sauce.
Penne alla vodka.
Penne alla vodka, there we go. And it's so good, and cookies and everything. And then the big Friday night thing is we have a year-in review. And the cool thing about conferences, it's a roller coaster ride emotionally, because one minute you're so happy and you're laughing and you're hugging friends, and then the next minute things can get kind of dark because this disease can be terminal for some people. And so it'll be the year in review, we're talking about fundraising and all the fun things we've done this year, and then we have like a moment of silence for everyone who's passed away in the past year. And then we go right back to like the happy fun stuff, and that's just kind of it's like jarring, but like in a cool way, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and I think that's surprising for newcomers. They're like, whoa, wait,
Yeah.
we just we move from like laughter into mourning, back into laughter, really quickly. But it's kind of, it's kind of part of life. It's also kind of just an integral way that our conference works. It's happy, it's bittersweet. I don't love that that euphemism, but it is bittersweet. It is
bittersweet.
And that's another reason why I ended up starting to go to this conference, is because I'm supposed to get lung disease in my life, probably in my 30s or 40s, and so it's something that we want to understand. We want to be part of research and do everything we can to maybe find a cure, or at least get to know people who have gotten lung transplants. It's a great place to be able to network and see just how many successful transplantees we have.
Absolutely. So after our fun little year in review, we usually do a fun game or karaoke. There's also a bar inside the hotel. It's called Champions, right? Yeah. Champions.
No, they changed it.
They changed the name?
Yeah.
When?
Yeah, the last 2 conferences, it's a different bar. It used to be a sports bar, but it is no longer.
Do you know what it's called now?
I don't think it has a name.
Oh, it doesn't have a name.
Bar.
It's the bar. Okay, well, I'm gonna always call it Champions because it's such this thing of you want to go to Champions after the thing tonight. So anyway, then. And there was a signature drink last year that the bar actually made for our conference. The hotel staff really goes above and beyond to make our conference feel at home. I've always felt at home by the hotel staff, and I think it's really great. And so then we go to bed because we have a busy day on Saturday. And Cass, you want to take us through the fun of Saturday?
Yeah, so like Casey mentioned, Friday's kind of our welcome day. It's the day where we recap, we meet back up with people we haven't seen in a whole year, but next time we go, this year it's virtual. And last year we actually didn't get to have it at all because a lot of things were shutting down right around the time that conference was supposed to happen, and so it would have been pretty quick to turn around and do something virtual. So next time we go to conference, it'll be 3 years. You guys, I haven't seen Casey for 2 years at this point.
2 years. I know. It'll be 3 years.
It's tragic.
When I see you for the first time, I don't know when it'll be, but when I do, I don't know what I'll do. I'll lose it.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
I can't even think about it.
I can't believe it. Anyways, Saturday is more of like a social day where we do a lot of connecting, emotional sharing, very family. And then Sunday is kind of our science day, which we'll get into, especially when we start talking about the research that happens at this conference specifically. But going into the social Saturday, we have this tradition of, they call it the family album. But quickly, Casey didn't know that we had breakfast.
Y'all,
because she always slept through breakfast.
I'm tired. This conference exhausts me.
Casey's gone to this conference for 8 or 9 years. She didn't know we had breakfast.
And I had no idea. Well, Cassandra was like, oh, the Panera breakfast is really great. And when we were planning for this, and I was like, wait, who? What? The Panera breakfast?
Yeah, they have Panera bagels.
And I had no idea. So, yeah, I missed the breakfast. But anyway, after I missed the breakfast, which I'll try not to do next time.
Yeah, you gotta get you a cinnamon crunch bagel. But
if I can get out of bed, I might try. If I haven't spent too much time at the non-champions anymore bar.
So we have this tradition called the family album, and it is, if you think of like group sharing time,
yes.
This is exactly it.
Yes.
Everyone gets into just a giant oval of pretty much all the conference attendees, and everyone says something, and they have to say something that happened last year, either good or bad, and then something that you're looking forward to in the next year. And so everyone has to talk. It doesn't matter if you have HPS or if you don't, or if you are like a family member. We were talking about this recently too, that like there was one year where my whole family went, so my parents and my older brother, and he was like surprised. He was like, wait, I have to say something? It's like,
I know. My sister freaks out of the public speaking aspect too.
It's funny and it's like surprising. But after that, Saturday is kind of full of a lot of different small sessions. That's kind of our big, large group session for the day. But during different blocks of time, especially after lunchtime, we have sessions for different age groups, different identities. We have a big Spanish-speaking population. Like I mentioned, it disproportionately affects Puerto Ricans. We have sessions that are more like doctor speaking, sessions, kind of giving a presentation, and then a Q&A. Some sessions that are more like a support group sharing symptoms of like GI disease or something. And then we have sessions that are completely random and fun, like Zumba, which is so... Yes. We always look forward to that every year.
Zumba, and then, everybody wants. That's a hot,
it's a hot session.
That's a hot session. A lot of people go there. And Cupcake Wars,
yeah absolutely. Like sometimes, I think recently we also had a yoga, which I think was cool.
Oh, I didn't go to that.
Actually, there's a yoga this year.
There was a laughter yoga. I didn't get to go to it.
Oh, have you ever tried that?
No, but apparently it was like amazing because my mom went and had the time of her life.
It's really fun. Did you
go?
Tried laughter. No, I super random. I took a yoga class in college when I needed to fill credit hours, so we did laughter yoga at one point, and it was really fun. So, anyways.
And it's these sessions, like some of them, like especially the family album at the beginning of the day, they get very emotional at times.
Yeah.
Like, and it's a beautiful time. It's like people are saying, like, I had a baby this year, or I got married this year, and then some people say, like, someone passed away this last year, or my lung disease progressed this last year, and it's one of those things once again where it gets really dark and then it gets really light and funny and beautiful. It's so like flip-floppy, but it's such a beautiful, as is life, as you said, it's such a beautiful thing actually.
I've really, even though it probably takes a good 2 hours,
it does, it takes like 2 hours to go through everybody.
It is
to talk.
Still like something I always look forward to, because it's cool to just be able to know how every single person, even if you don't get to talk to them while you're at this conference, is doing. And for context, like, this is a rare disease, so, if you're thinking of a conference, like a big business conference, it's nothing like that. It's probably maybe 200 people.
It's very
that
intimate.
Are there. Right, and then we also have an additional, like, handful of doctors and researchers that also attend for a portion of it, but, like, at least at that point, it's very intimate. It's small as far as conferences go. So, it's a very, staple part of conference. It wouldn't be conference without the family album.
Oh, 100%. Yep.
Yeah. But the most exciting part of Saturday is our dance in the evening.
Yes.
It's super fun, and every conference usually has a theme. So the dance is usually set to be, in that theme. It's kind of like a 3-course meal type of thing, which is, we feel very fancy, but I can never finish it all. Because we have
so much food.
There's a salad and a bread and a pasta and a main course and a dessert.
It's a lot of food, but it's so good, and it is like a fancy dinner. It almost feels like prom or something, because you're a lot of people dress up really fancy.
A lot of people really dress up for it.
Some people don't, but it's a great time to take pictures because you're all fancy and dressed up, and then we have a big dance, which is really fun too.
It's so fun, but it's also cool because while we're eating before the dance, we will, the network will give out awards for standout volunteers and standout researchers that have really spent the past year really investing in the HPS community. And we really want to honor them, and I think that that's a really beautiful place to do it. It's also cool because at this ball,
the grand ball,
we have a lot of doctors come to it, and it's cool because we get to take pictures with them, but it just feels like they're human, and we're human too. They get to see the little kids dancing on the dance floor, and they remember why it is that they're doing this research, and that's something that is really emphasized at the network, is just the humanity of people with rare diseases, which is just so understated sometimes because it often feels like you're a number.
Yes.
But,
And we see our doctors as celebrities.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. We mentioned this in episode 7.
I didn't mean to interrupt you. You cut out, so I thought you would stop talking, and then it came back. But, yeah.
Oh, you're good. No, we mentioned this in episode 7, and, I'm always, really excited to go and get pictures with, the head of the National Institute of Health, or, someone who's leading a study, and I'm like, come on, we have to get a picture.
You always come up to me. You're always like, Casey, come on, look. Dr. So-and-so, we need to go take a picture. It's so cute. I love it.
I know. Well, I'm always so excited because I want them to remember me, and they will.
Oh, and they will. And they will. Oh, my gosh. And also, we're going to talk a little bit more about this later, but we also sing at the dinner. A group of 5 women with HPS, Cassandra, myself, a pair of twins, and the founder of the network's daughter. The 5 of us always sing together every year, and we are going to talk about that a little bit more when we get to that. But I just wanted to mention that at the dinner we sing every year, and it's really fun.
And it's a medley that's put together by the founder's daughter's voice teacher, who is also part of the network because she volunteers a lot with us, and it's really cool. And it's usually it's based on the theme, so it's a lot of fun usually.
Say it with me, Cass. We'll link them in the
show notes.
We need to have a T-shirt that says we'll link it in the show notes. But we will. If you're interested in seeing some of our medleys, we'll link them in the show notes. So anyway. Totally. Then let's get to Sunday. We're walking you through this weekend. This weekend is almost coming to a close, but now we're on Sunday. So Sunday is not really a social day. Sunday is our doctor day. Don't we call it Research Sunday or Doctor Sunday? Or
I thought it was Science Sunday.
Science Sunday. That's what it is. I knew I was wrong. I was like, what's going on I'm wrong about this? Science Sunday. So we're all really exhausted because usually this conference actually takes place on daylight savings. So we lose an hour. So we're partying at the dinner and dancing the night away, and then we lose an hour. So we're really exhausted on the Sunday morning, but we know we need to be there for the doctors because they mean so much to us. So basically on Science Sunday, some of the doctors do sessions and speak about their findings from the past year of research, and it's very informative. It's very interesting. Some of it is a little over my head, because it's very, very smart, but it's really cool. And this is one of the things I think that really helps us when we leave conference and we go back into the real world, into our real lives. this is the stuff that helps us be able to explain to our doctors in our hometowns what's going on, because we really have to be our own advocate with a rare disease. And it's so helpful to have this Science Sunday where we're really learning. And it's really cool because we are the pioneers of finding a cure for this disease. And we're seeing the results in real time. And we're seeing this research in real time. So it's pretty amazing. And then after that, everyone kind of starts going home. It's a pretty short weekend, even though it feels long in some ways and it feels really short in other ways. But in the afternoon, people kind of head back to the airport and go home. It's kind of sad even talking about it, honestly. But yeah, so that's what Sunday is. But we wanted to kind of talk a little bit more about the singing. Do you want to tell them a little more about that?
We sing for a reason, not just because it's fun and, the five of us all enjoy singing. But it has sort of a history with us. Like I mentioned.
History fun fact.
We're bringing it back, you guys.
It has been so long since we've had a history fun fact.
We're bringing it back, you guys.
Bringing it back.
History fun fact. So about the HPS network, since I mentioned about trying to represent that humanity in just a patient, back in, I would say around the 90s when the network was pretty new, we wanted to get studied at the National Institutes of Health. For those outside of the U.S., it's like kind of the government-funded research institute for all kinds of conditions and diseases and bacterium. But the National Institute of Health is really important, and we were trying to really push to get in there, and they weren't really having it because it's like, what's another rare disease? But there was this special moment where the pair of twins that we sing with, they just started singing. They sung Colors of the Wind from Pocahontas, and it was this turning point of realizing these are people, and these people they need help and they need answers, and we need to try and find ways to do it. So, we have private funded research studies, but we also are part of the NIH, and I think that is really key into us being able to hopefully find a cure for pulmonary fibrosis. And so every year we sing, and the twins sing Colors of the Wind every year, in honor of that. And, like we mentioned before, the five of us sing at the dinner some sort of themed medley to go with the conference theme, which is always fun. And we actually sing for the doctors specifically. And we will talk a bit about that because we're kind of we're kind of bleeding into that. So do you want to talk about what it is, and then I'll say why we sing?
Sure. So like we said, we kind of talked about the social side of conference from our perspective, but there is a medical side to conference too. There is something on the Saturday while we're all being social. We have something called the Meeting of the Minds. I love the name of it, Meeting of the Minds, because it's all the smartest minds in the room. And basically, this year in 2021, even though it's virtual, we're going to have 46 doctors in the Meeting of the Minds. Wow, I just said that wrong. 46 doctors, so that's pretty amazing. Every year it seems to be growing. Of course, I'm sure it started off with just a few. I can't believe we have 46. It's amazing. And they're basically giving their scientific unpublished data behind closed doors. They're all talking to each other. So, you have pulmonologists, hematologists, even a gynecologist, all these doctors.
That means lung doctor and blood doctor.
And blood doctor and
for those who do not know. And
yes,
lady doctor.
Lady doctor. And they're sharing all their research, and it's really cool because they're all studying HPS separately. And then, of course, it's very important for them to share all their research with each other to find a cure together, right? So also this year, another cool thing that's happening is there is an international research conference happening, and these are handpicked international doctors. And this year, the doctor that found HPS type 11 from France is going to be at our conference, which is really cool because HPS just had 10 types for a while, and now we recently found the 11th type. I know, it's very scientific and exciting. And so anyway, though, at the Meeting of the Minds, we go in and sing for them every year. And it's really cool because no other patient, gets to go in there. We're like the only 5 people with HPS who get to even go in that room. And it feels really like special and like a little nerve-wracking because it's all the doctors. And we love singing for them because, like Cassandra said, it really, I think, grows our relationship with them as people and shows them that we are people and gives them a reason to keep fighting for us. And it's a really special moment. And sometimes they like record it and they seem to really love it. And
yeah.
And we love it too. So we're so happy to give back to them. And it's a really, really cool time. There's so much cool research going on at conference.
We also, the patients, end up doing some research of our own. And this is another bonus history fun fact. In the first few times that this network was having conferences, which ended up being like at the founder's home when her daughter was like still a little girl.
Yeah, it was like only a handful of people going to her home. It was it wasn't even really a conference, I guess, at that point. It was tiny.
It was just kind of a meeting.
A meeting, I guess, yeah.
But they would take urine samples, which gross. Okay, this is a podcast about chronic illness. And they would keep them outside in the snow in her backyard to keep them at temperature. So, it's something that is near and dear to our founder's heart and to our whole network to also use the time where so many of us are gathered in one place to be able to do actual research. So, especially in the past couple in-person conferences we had in 18 and 19, there were actual blood draws and actual stool samples happening at the conference in the hotel. And it's kind of bonkers because, you could just be talking to your friend and then they call you down and you got to go and you get your arm stuck and they take your blood and then you go back upstairs and hang out with your friends again. Like, it's just... Yeah.
It's like, have you given your stool sample yet? Oh, I haven't yet.
Let me go do that really quick.
And I think we even broke a record for the most blood taken or blood draws at a conference because it's very rare to go to a medical conference and actually be taking blood and stool and urine samples and all of this kind of stuff. Like, that is not really a normal thing. And actually, like, I feel like that's another thing that our network is kind of a pioneer in doing, which is really cool. It's like, if we have all of us together in one space, why not use that to quickly get all this done, get it all done, because it really, really helps. And also, we also have some like genetic, what would you call it?
Genetic counselors.
Yeah. We have, like, everywhere you turn, someone is saying, do you want to take this survey? And, it's like, it's a lot of research and studying going on. You can feel it. It's like a buzzing. You can feel like the research happening. It's not just a social gathering. It's real. Like, we are really making progress at this conference.
It's more than just a support group, because it is that, and it is fun. But there is actual really important work going on at the same time, and it's cool to be part of all of that at once.
It's really cool. It's really cool to be a part of. It feels like we're doing something. You know what I mean? Like, it feels like we're a part of something bigger than ourselves, and it's just such a special time, and talking about it makes me really want to go, and I'm so sad, but I know virtual will be fun as well.
I know, I miss it so much, but that's sort of the breakdown of conference, and I think we hit it all, and you guys, we have a game!
So we wanted to do
that was almost together.
That was well, we say that it was together, but when I try to edit it, I'm sure it'll be like completely apart since we're on FaceTime right now.
Hence the almost, but hey.
Almost. Yeah, no, hey, we'll see what it sounds like when I put it together. But we wanted to do like we love this or that over at the Rare with Flair podcast. We do this or that a lot. We thought it'd be fun to do like a this or that conference style, because now that you've heard all about conference, you might know what we're talking about. So,
true that.
Okay, this or that. Singing for the doctors at dinner or in the meeting of the minds, which are the two places so some of the doctors are also at dinner. But
if they can make the dinner, a lot of them, like a big handful of our really like star players will stay, which is cool. Seeing who can make it, and that's who we take pictures with. So as much as I love, and I think the meeting of the minds is super important, and it feels very privileged to be able to even walk in the room, because there's a lot of powerful people there. I just really like the Saturday dinner. I just like have so much fun doing it, and
it's so fun. We have like little kids dancing in front of us while we sing, and it's
oh
just,
yeah,
like,
one of those
blast.
videos that I'm gonna link in the show notes. You will see small
see the little
children
kid.
bouncing around.
And I'm not trying to say this to make excuses. I just want to remind everyone that we literally rehearsed for these songs that day for the first time. I'm serious. Because none of us live in the same spot. We have someone from New York. The twins we mentioned are from Arizona. And of course, Cass and I don't live in the same spot. So when we get to conference, we're always trying to find like a 30-minute window of time to just run over our songs. We barely have time to even do it. So, you know, it's a rough cut, but I think they come together really beautifully because we practice on our own. And so anyway, I just have to let everyone know that it is very time.
So what is your preference? I like the dinner. What was yours?
I like the dinner too. It's just I love both for different reasons, but the dinner is just so special. So I think the dinner is probably everyone's favorite part of the conference. It's just so fun. It's so fun.
What a blast.
We get to like let loose. And we usually do like fun skits and stuff in the dinner too. Like one time we did a Wizard of Oz theme and I dressed up as Dorothy and like did a choreographed dance to the Wizard of Oz stuff. And
she was a cute Dorothy, you guys. I have a picture.
You do, yeah. You can link that too if we can find it.
We'll throw it in there, hopefully.
That picture's on our website. Sorry, I keep giving you more and more work to do. I'm like, put that in the show notes, Cass. Put that in the show notes.
Okay.
But anyway, do you have one? What's yours?
Okay. So, after the dance, do you go straight to bed? Or do you go and hang out at the non-champions bar?
So the non-champions bar. So a lot of people go hang out at the bar and stay up like I think all night, which
Some people stay up all night.
I don't understand. Like no, I go to sleep at like literally like 11 p.m. I'm like, all right, bye everybody. Like gotta go, because like I gotta wake up for Sunday and I'm already really exhausted at that point. So and every single conference I lose my voice. I think we talked about that in episode 7.
Oh, she does.
I lose my voice.
Yeah,
every
she
single
does.
conference. What about you? I think I know your answer too. But what do you?
I go to the bar, but I don't stay for that much longer.
Oh, I was thinking you went to bed. Okay.
No, so I went like, last time, and I stayed for like an hour, and then I was like too tired, and I was like, okay, I can't do it. Bye.
Yeah, I will like get sick if I push myself too much. I get
It's just not. I don't like. I can stay up late, but that day is so busy anyway that I'm just like. Peace.
Yeah. Okay, as far as the sessions on Saturday go, do you like the more serious sessions where we talk about like life or death matters, or do you like the more funny ones like Cupcake Wars?
I think it depends, honestly. It depends on what kind of session it is, because I will absolutely go to Zumba.
For sure.
Totally. But some of them are I feel like important to be at, so I would still love to go. Mm-hmm. Like I'll usually, or at least I'll try and stop by if I can. The GI diseases one, but I don't have much to say anymore because I cut that out.
Yeah, you cut out that colon. Yeah, no, I agree. It kind of depends. I don't know. I think the serious ones are really important, but so are the fun ones, so it's hard to say. But Cass and I are actually running a session this year about mobility, so if you happen to have HPS and you're going to be at the conference, you might see us running a session. Actually, one of the sessions I ran one year was in competition with Zumba, because we'll have 4 sessions at one time slot to pick from, and I was like, how can I go against Zumba?
Oh no, and you couldn't even go to Zumba then.
I know, it was very sad.
Tragic.
All right. Next.
Okay, I know that you don't go to breakfast, but
oh gosh,
if you could go to breakfast, would you prefer the Panera breakfast or the Chipotle lunch that on Friday when we get there?
How dare you do that to me?
I'm so sorry. I don't make the rules here, except
I
do.
How dare you do it? I mean, probably, if I had to choose between the restaurants, I'm more of a maybe Chipotle fan, but it really depends on my mood. I like Panera, too. I
know. I look forward to the Panera bagels.
Well, you're really building up those Panera bagels. I need to go down to the hospitality. So what would you pick?
Honestly, I usually end up sleeping through the Chipotle, and then I get there when there's only chips left.
Stop. So I'm sleeping through Panera and you're sleeping through Chipotle?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So I guess we made a
great.
decision.
Okay, my last one is, do you prefer the chocolate, isn't it, what is it? It's like a chocolate ice cream thing for dessert at the dinner. Or do you prefer the candy squares that the hotel provides?
No, my question was about the candy squares.
We have this inside joke that okay, in the hotel, and like every room you go in, there's that little glass like bowl with these little candy squares in them.
They're not much. They're just
there for you to take, but
they're just hard candies.
No, they're not just hard candies. They are incredible. So, but the problem is, this is the problem. They are literally in clear wrapping, and they have no words on them at all, so they have no name.
Why didn't you just ask the hotel?
I know, I need to ask the hotel, but I can't look them up, so then when I go to the hotel, it's the only time I can eat these candies. So
you should grab like the whole bowl and walk up to the concierge and be like, what are they?
What are they? I grabbed them and I put handfuls in my purses. I probably still have squares left over in my purses. But so obviously, my choice would be the squares.
It's the candy squares. I think
they're these fruity squares. They're fruity.
I'm trying to remember like we've had different desserts. I think one of them was like a chocolate ice cream raspberry thing.
Yeah, that's the one I'm thinking of.
Okay. We've had apple crisp.
We have had apple crisp. I think now for the last few years, though, it's always been that chocolate ice cream raspberry situation.
I think they're both good. The apple crisp also comes with ice cream, so
That sounds so good. I'm so hungry right now.
I'd probably pick the dessert. The dessert.
How dare you pick anything over the squares?
My question was between the strawberry water in the hotel lobby or the candy squares.
I've never had this strawberry water in the hotel lobby, but you rave about it, so I must try it.
It's good!
Okay, what brand is it?
It's just like strawberries sitting in a water.
Oh, thing. I thought it was literally like a bottle brand.
No, it's like in one of those big
that sounds
pitcher
great.
Things with a spigot. It's good.
Oh,
you see the floating strawberries.
Good.
Yeah.
Wow, yum. Okay. I need to try the strawberry water, and you need to try the fruity,
candy
hard
squares.
Candy square. If anybody has ever heard of hard candy fruity squares that don't have a name, message us, because I'm serious. I'm looking for these squares. But yeah, I guess wow, we made really good time.
We definitely thought we were gonna go really long on this episode, but honestly, we're really happy that we could give you guys a taste. Just a nibble.
A taste. You'll never quite understand, I guess, unless you go, but I'm so glad we got to give you this inside scoop. Please, if you feel so inclined to donate to the Hermansky-Pudlak Syndrome Network, our shirts are still being sold for the rest of the week. So if you would like a cute shirt, we have a sweatshirt, a V-neck, and a crew neck t-shirt. So I really hope you go check that out.
They're
I'm
super cute. Our goal is 50, and we've already surpassed halfway.
Yeah.
So if you guys want to help us reach our goal, please do, and rock your favorite podcast, because we know this is your favorite.
We know we're your favorite. Just rock ourselves on your. It's gonna be weird when we wear it because it's our own faces on.
It's who's that? It's me and my best friend.
I'm such a narcissist. Hey. They're gonna be like, why do you have a white cane in that picture if you don't have it now for the times I don't use a cane? And then I'll have to be like, listen to episode 2, I don't always use it. Oh my gosh.
Well, thank you guys
Roman
so
is the
much.
true star of the shirt.
Oh, yeah, no, she is.
Roman
She's
is the true star.
Such a queen. But thank you guys for being here. And we'll see you in 2 weeks. Bye.
Bye.